Alright YouTube land, thanks for tuning in to another video. This one again is as per the title up there. It's about the Golf. If you want to know how I'm doing with it, please stay tuned. If you don't, then click the back icon and bugger off somewhere else. Anyway, without further ado. So you may remember in my intro video I was asking about this this pinstripe here on the bumper because it split. I did find out why. I found out kind of why it was split, and that's because the bumper had taken a bit of a knock. Upon removing the front bumper, I found that the inner bumper bracket underneath here was bent, so I replaced that, and that actually makes the bumper sit a bit better in the front of the car, as you can imagine. So I've rectified that. I've also managed to locate the handbrake cover. There was a cheesy leatherette kind of gator thing on there, but I've managed to relocate a proper handbrake cover, so that's good. All I'm waiting for now really is the actual proper handbrake swivel pin, because I found, obviously I removed the cheesy gator, and I found that my handbrake lever had been held on by this monstrosity, sodding great big bit of M12 studding with with about 90 washers and two great big nuts on. So obviously the handbrake cover does not sit over that, even, like, you know, doesn't take an engineer to be able to see that that's not going to fit. So I did a bit of research and found out what actually holds the handbrake lever on, and I've ordered that pin. That is on order, so that should be with us prominently soon, hopefully. Turning my attention to the back of the car. Now this, you wouldn't have been able to tell from the previous video, but this had the seal on here was previously wrong. It was all sort of like creased up here, and in every corner it was just kind of creased up. So that told me that it wasn't the correct boot lid seal. So I bought this one here. There's a bit of a, let's unfurl that. I bought this one here from Heritage Parts, so that fits on there lovely. What I also did do as well is this bracket here. This box wasn't here, so I refurbed the bracket because it was all tatty looking, gave the rubber strap a bit of a polish, and again I bought the factory replica first aid kit, again from Heritage Parts, so that just sits in there and finishes that part of the boot lid. The boot compartment, it just kind of looks nice with its German writing on. Now I did have an incident in the week by where the car actually broke down on me. I was on my way to work and I was about to join a busy motorway, but luckily my car actually, well, I say luckily the car conked out before I joined the slip road, so that was good. I managed to get a tow home, but it turned out, I suspect, to be the fuel pump. So as you know, with older cars, half of the job is unfucking people's fuck-ups. So to test the fuel, I knew that there was two fuel pumps, as I'm sure you lot out there in YouTube land do as well. So I made my way to this to the rear fuel pump, the lift pump, the so-called lift pump. As taking this cover off here that sits around here, I noticed that this screw cap was not even attached, and the lift pump was left to just dangle around willy-nilly. So I checked that the lift pump works, and it does. And I've reattached this screw cap, so that is now attached. So again, like I say, unfucking people's fuck ups. So that's all in there. I gave it a bit of a Dyson around and a bit of a wipe down and a clean up. So that's all nice in there now as well. Obviously, with that fuel pump all working, my attention turns to the other fuel pump, the one done underneath the back of the car on the driver's side. So I checked that doesn't seem to work. So it all had to come out. As you know, it's all in a little sub-assembly. With the, here it is. So this is most likely the original fuel pump. Definitely not the original fuel filter. That's a man filter. Again, I don't know how long that's been in there, so I'm going to chuck that in the bin as well and change that for the sake of it, because you never know. It could have been in there for 15 years. I don't know, do I? Again, as you can see, I've taken all this sub-assembly apart. So here is the bracket that mounts it to the bottom of the car. A little bit tatty looking. I'm actually going to wire brush that down and give it a splash of POR 15 just to keep that fresh and black and not rusty. As you can imagine, underneath the bottom of the car it's going to be covered in crap. Now I have degreased this. I spent an hour or so degreasing this. As you can see, it's not perfect, of course, but it is a damn sight better than what it actually was. This is actually grey, not covered in crap like it was underneath the car. So I've unhitched that. That can go in the bin. And there is the fuel pump there. Like I say, it doesn't work. I've actually attached a 11.1 volt lithium polymer pack that I used to use in my helicopters, attach that to it, and it just doesn't turn. So my guess is that that pump is toast. Not Stephen Toast, but just plain toast. So I'm going to whip that out in a minute. I'm going to measure it and see what diameter it is and order up a new one. Righty ho, pump is out, as we can see. Not entirely sure how that works in there, but as we can see around here, sorry, getting the lens in the wrong place compared with the screen. Right, so as we can see, probably Bosch, Volkswagen, Audi. There we go, it most definitely is the original pump in there. Looking at the state of it, some nice nice bubbled up rust there. So that, I think we can definitely say that that is the original fuel pump from 1987. Looking at this gauze, yeah, it's kind of grubby looking, isn't it? Seen better days. I'll give that a good wash. So I'm going to measure the diameter of this pump and get a new one on order. In the meantime, obviously carry on giving this a good old clean, I think. Make it all nice and black without any bits of mud on it. And get some paint on this bad boy here. Just so it looks again nice and shiny and new again. So having just taken this bit of hose off that goes between the pump and the fuel filter. It's got the lettering on here. As we can see, look, check it out. It's the original Volkswagen piece of hose. So that piece of hose is 37 years old. Giving it a bit of a clean up. Looks a bit better. So that's ready to go back on upon reassembly. So in the past 5 or 10 minutes since I filmed this pump after I took it out, I thought that was all rust. Now it has started to dry. As you can see, it's dried up. As you can see, I'll pick at it, and so I'm holding the camera with one hand. I haven't got a tripod set up or anything. As you can see, it's just kind of grime and mud and shit, and so that's probably got in there at some point over the years, got into there, and just buggered the whole thing really. Plus the fact that it's 37 years old, so you know it's the original pump. But I definitely do think the best place for this is to go in the bin. Let me know in the comment section below if you've had any experiences such as this one. So, I'm unsure as to whether I'm supposed to keep these bits, but I was wondering if I needed to keep this bit. So to get that bit off, I had to remove the terminal, plate, I guess you would call it, from the actual starter motor. That is removable by bending in these 3 tabs. So this one here, top one, and these 2 smaller ones down by the spout there, by the spigot, by the fuel hose spigot there. So bend those tabs in, and this slides off with a bit of persuasion, and you can take that bit off as well. So I'm unsure as to whether I need to keep those 2 bits, but just in case, before I lob this in the bin, I thought I would have a chance of my arm at getting those bits off beforehand. Right, so further to the fuel pump issue, I did resolve it. I did put a new one in. Now, as you can see from my attire, some time has passed since that last clip actually was put together. Because back in the summer I was wearing a t-shirt. Now I've got like a hat on, and it's December the 14th, so kind of 2 weeks before Christmas. So it's a bit later than it was before, but let me show you that I did actually do the fuel pump. So, light's a bit crap under here, as you can imagine, underneath the car. I'm lying in the front yard. As you can see here, look, there's the fuel pump housing there, all attached. I have been driving the car around since the fuel pump was done. Kind of difficult to get in here. There we go, there's the new fuel pump at the back there, and I have a new fuel filter, and I don't know if we can see it from here, but the bracket, that rusty bracket that it was attached to, get a little bit of light in there maybe, as I painted that with some POR 15, so that's nice and shiny and is unlikely to rust again. I also did smear some grease all over the fasteners as well, so they wouldn't rust on the heads and stuff, and everything's all copper slipped up and all connected up. There's been no leaks, so that is that's mission accomplished as far as that's concerned. So, however, yes, I'm inside the car now. Now the car is actually sawn for the winter, because obviously, like I said, it's December. Excuse me. So I've taken the car off the road, it's on the driveway. There were a few things I wanted to do to it over the winter. You may remember me mentioning the carpets had seen better days in the previous video, I think that was. I can't remember because I haven't done any YouTube videos for months because I don't think anyone watches it. If you are watching it, welcome, thank you. If you can subscribe, that'd be fantastic. Slight segue there. But yeah, if you like what you see, just tune in, subscribe, press the button down below, press the old bell icon, all that crap. You know it is. It'd be great to have you along for the ride. Watch this mission as well. So yes, yeah, click the subscribe button, give us a like, comment below, that'd be fantastic, much appreciated, thank you very much. If you like what you see here, of course. If you don't, then just carry on by, stroll on. So yes, take it off of the road for the winter, because I've got some new carpets to go in. If you may remember, I mentioned them in the first golf intro video. So I've got some new carpets to go in, so I thought I'd tear the old carpets out, and here we are. So this is what we have. That is the passenger front footwell. I wondered why that was all mullered. Someone's obviously taken a bit of a dislike to that part of the footwell there, part of the floor pan. Apparently there's a bolt behind there, like a weld nut, like a welded in nut, and that can come loose when someone attempts to do the wishbone bolt, mounting bolts, I think. Comment below if you want to correct me on that. I just wondered what that was, and I stuck a post on a forum. But here we are. There's we can say that's the passenger side footwell. There is a bit of crustiness, as we can see about there, and obviously there's that. That looks quite sorry for itself. And that bit there too. It might be solid. Then we have the back here. Couple of nice screwdrivers there, obviously, you know, sat inside the thing. We've got some nice, well, riveted on nonsense there. So, as we can see, if we take a look at this here rear shock tower, come in at arch mount, that has absolutely seen better days. That is like a manky old apple that's been there for quite, you know, been in the bowl for quite some time. I have had it looked at. It's the same both sides as well. We quickly vacate our, divert our view to the driver's side. Not as bad, but however, still not particularly good. And as well as the stuff on the, let me just swivel around there with absolutely no dignity whatsoever. Extreme close-up. Well, that's too bad. Anyway, that's better. Right, so yeah, as well as the stuff, obviously in the front footwells, before I put the new carpets in, it's going to want some attention. I have got a welder. I am booked in for it to be welded. I'm going to slap some POR 15 on there before the new sound deadening and carpet goes in. So that's a plan. It's a plan. So, continuing, I'm also putting a new ignition switch in because the other one's playing up a little bit. I turn the key occasionally, and occasionally it will turn over and start, and occasionally it doesn't. So, for the sake of an ignition switch, which could possibly be 37 years old, I thought I might as well just chuck a new one in there. As we can see, I've already undone the steering wheel. The nut is off, so if I just give that a wiggle. There you go, steering wheel comes off, and that can go down there with the horn button. But yes, as you can see, I've started removing stuff from the dash as well, because upon removing the carpet, now I did find this wire going towards the back of the car. Let me just show you here. So I did find this wire. It was underneath the carpet. Now, it's a bit of an end of speaker wire and a blue wire. Now it comes out from underneath the dashboard. It goes in nowhere, so that wants I've got to find out where that actually came from and terminate it or repair it, or you know, whatever. But so electrical gremlins, as you can see there's no steering wheel. I've started removing everything here, labelling up my plugs with what they're supposed to be, whatever that says. Rear demister, you can't make it new. But I also did find, now I pulled this out a minute ago and had a chuckle to myself. This battery's about to die, but if I pull this out, obviously it previously had an alarm. If I pop that out, give the wire a tug, it's been snipped. Doesn't go anywhere either. So there's all manner of crap I've got to address. So the dashboard's coming out as well. Anyway, the battery's about to die in this camera again. I can't be bothered to get back out the car and go back indoors to change it. So I shall bid you farewell. Thanks for watching this video. As you can see, it's a bit of a far cry from the previous one where I introduced you to. But that was probably like 6 months ago now. So this is kind of like a part 2. And you can see that I'm well into the project now. I've taken stuff apart. And it will have to go back together before I drive it again, obviously. So, thanks for watching. Give us a like and subscribe if you like what you see or you are interested in seeing what happens in part 3. Give us a comment down below. Thank you, please, if you're into it and you've got any suggestions. Yeah, so yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Ta-ta for now.